So when you have those thoughts, don't buy into them. Oh, Dhammarato's angry. Oh, that's ridiculous. You can throw that out. You can, in fact, laugh at what a ridiculous thought. But the one that's a little more worrisome would be, oh, I'm sick. I should feel bad because the body is sick.
Yes.
Or the body is not strong. And as I said before, that's probably an old bad habit you picked up in diapers. If when you were sick as a child, your mama, oh, poor baby, oh, we got to rush you to the hospital. Oh, this is so worrisome. And so she sent her worries telepathically right into your brain. When you feel bad, you're supposed to worry and feel bad.
Yes.
When the body is sick, you're supposed to be sick mentally also. And that's a bad habit that you picked up. The question is, can you catch that? Can you see that in the process and say, hey, I can feel good while I'm sick?
Yeah. I was just like, people say, like, when the kid, when children are running around and they fall down, usually the first thing, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but they try to look at their caregivers, the adults, to see if they're worried. And if they're worried, they'll start crying. But if the parents is looking at them and non-reactively, the children just climbs on and happily start running again.
Well, in that regard, then, laughter is the best medicine. If the doctor starts walking into your hospital room with the chart, looking at your chart, laughing, you're going to like that. But if the doctor looking at your chart walks into the room all glum and everything, oh, this is worrisome, then you're going to feel bad.
Yeah. In fact,
huh?
I have to confirm some details, but I got to the step.
You got to set.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet.
Okay, can you have it set up? That's the return shipment details from us.
Yes.
Return method, select, pickup. That's the right way to do it.
Okay.
Pickup. Okay.
Okay.
So, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, the doctor.
So, be your own doctor. Look at your own chart and say, aha, cancer! Wow, we've got cancer.
That will be a very high level. Yeah.
Well, that means that you need to practice for that time.
I agree.
That's what takes practice. Is if you can say aha for the little things, then you can say aha for the big things. But if you say poor me for the little things, then guess what you've got yourself set up for?
Yeah. Like the practice here, I've been more and more pay attention to the small things, in a wholesome way. I realize how the little ways I react to things says a lot about whether my mind is how quickly it goes to the unwholesome. Yeah, it happens a lot. But
yeah, it does. Like every second or so for most people. One little unwholesome thought after another, one little unwholesome thought after another, and then they get used to it, and then they think that's reality, where in fact they invented that reality.
So that's like a subjective reality, right? Like we create
that's
this.
That's what we mean by subjective reality. You made that subject up. It's not an object. It's not real. That's what the word object actually means when we say objective. Like objective reality means there's something real there. There's an object there. There's rupa.
Yeah. Because
subjective means that you made it up. It's the subject of your story.
Yeah.
If you can understand that, then you can tell the difference between object and subjective.
Yes.
Either the object is real or it's a subject of your story.
Yeah. Because objectively it's never ours, right? Like this idea
you made it yours, it's your subject. You made it up. It's you who makes it up. Reality is just real. No self there. But when you make up a story, it's about you and a sick body in this example.
Yeah. I mean, I was also thinking like I was just thinking about how you often say making seeing through every day through the Dhamma perspective. Like every day is the Dhamma practice, something like that. Yeah.
So keep the object, keep reality in the mind, as opposed to allowing subjects of stories coming into the mind.
Stories coming into the mind. It's like seeing that story coming out and say, I see you, Mara. Like that I'm creating, entering a new mind state, right? Like, yeah. Yeah. Because it's really wholesome. It feels very wholesome when I can catch that over and over. I'm starting to get a hang of because I still feel that sometimes like I catch it and I start to feel sorry for myself. But then it's like wait, why do
you hear that phrase? Come back to that statement. Say it again.
Catching myself feeling sorry.
No, you said sorry for myself.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now listen to that. That you're sorry. Now, what does the word sorry mean? Does it mean great? Does it mean wonderful?
No, it's not wonderful.
Does it mean good enough?
No, it does. I don't think so. I don't think it does.
So sorry and sorrow and sorrowful. Okay.
Yes.
Those are downers. The next one is for yourself. You feel sorry for yourself. Now, the you that feels the sorrow is different from the self that you feel sorrow for. Because the you that has the feeling is a different you than the one that you feel sorry for, because the one you feel sorry for does not exist.
Yes.
You made that one up. The self that you feel sorry for is a made up. That's part of the story.
It's
and the
also
story is a subject, and the subject is, guess what? Me.
yeah.
All right. Now let's phrase it like this. Oh, some old man in Thailand is sick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? There may be thousands of some old men in Thailand sick. How about just old men who are sick? How many old men who are sick all over the world?
Whoa, maybe millions. I don't know.
Okay. Are you going to feel that kind of depth of sorrow for each one of them, or are you going to feel sorry for one of them in particular that is a self?
Yes, one of them.
All right. So we can also then put that. How about a young man in Asia or in Malaysia? Okay. How many young men in Malaysia are sick? Hundreds, huh? So why do you feel sorry for one of them in particular?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let's think off into the future. Let's think about 300 to 500 years from now, to where YouTube is down, no more videos, world has changed completely. It's been 300 years since anybody heard of Ivan, and it's been 300 years since anybody heard of Dhammarato. And now you hear the story, oh, Dhammarato got sick, he got old, and he died. Are you going to feel sorry for a story that's 500 years old? Do you feel sorry for Socrates because he was poisoned in 390 BC?
A little bit. Just a little
Why?
bit. I mean, for Socrates, and like, I mean, any characters, right? Like even someone that you know and you read what
But
happened to
you
them.
don't know Socrates. You never met him. He's always been just a story to you. And in a way, Dhammarato is just a story to you.
Yes.
Especially a story 500 years from now is just a story, just a subject, not an object anymore.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So whenever you start to feel sorry for yourself, start thinking about that self that I'm sorry for now was sick 300 years ago. And then it's hard to get sorry for it.
Yes.
Everything is temporary. That's an important quality that a lot of people miss out on in Western Buddhism. Okay? They think that enlightenment is a place that you reach and that you never leave. Achan Po was very, very clear from me. In fact, he teased me about it, saying that becoming a Sotapan, and then you can become ordinary again. He congratulated me for being a Sotapan, and then the next time I talked to him, he says, everything is temporary. It don't last.
Okay.
All right. So you've seen my thing before. Let's do it again, okay? How does one beat a drum?
You just hit it. Just.
Yeah, okay, so here's the drum and here's the mallet, and you hit it like this. All right? And every time you strike the drum, it makes a sound, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's call that sound enlightenment, right? And this is what Westerners do.
Oh, they don't really hit it.
They never hit it. And if they hit it one time, then they think that they've arrived. They think that they've hit it one time. It's like this, and it's not like that.
Yeah.
They're back waving their brain in the air. Okay, so we have to practice hitting that drum over and over and over again. In your case, hitting the drum of everything is okay. Hitting the drum of, wow, this is good.
Yes.
Hitting the drum of wholesome. And when's the best time to hit that drum? As soon as you recognize, oh, I'm sorry for myself. And then you say, no, I'm not. I'm really happy that I'm sick. And you hit it again. And you hit it again. Harder, harder. Hit that thing. Take some effort. Put some energy into it.
Yes. Yeah. It makes more and more sense. The more I practice this, like it's so interesting because sometimes I hear people say stuff like, "Oh, that's," which I disagree. But some people say, "Oh, that's toxic positivity because you're ignoring the problem." But then I don't think
there was never a problem anyway. Let's go ahead and ignore it. There was not a problem.
Yeah. Because it's like this understanding of impermanence, no self, and the Buddha Dhamma is like, it's just seeing all this subject and all these stories. It's coming, it's just coming to reality, seeing things really clearly. Yeah. I don't know what happened. It just makes more and more sense to me.
Right. Every time you hear the Dhamma, you say, wow, look how much time I felt sorry for myself. A big waste of time feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah. I remember the Buddha, there's one in the sutta where he say to a woman, like, the amount of anguish or pain you have, the tears could fill out the 7 seas or something like that. Like the tears, like it could fill out the sea. And it's very direct with that. And like through that sharing, the woman somehow come to an understanding and come out of her suffering.
There was another one that he let her figure it out for herself.
Oh yeah.
The story of what's her name? Something Hasi Gautama, something like that. I've forgotten her name, but anyway, she's the story of that her baby died. And she couldn't tolerate that. She couldn't stand it. She felt really sorry for herself. And so she carried that dead infant around to every doctor she could find, and nobody could do anything. And so she carried it to all of the magicians. She carried it to the religious people. And finally, she came to the Buddha. Do you know what the Buddha told her to do? Because he knew that he couldn't tell her. He gave her a job to do. And he says, go collect an aniseed. It's generally translated as a mustard seed. 10 of them. Go get 10 seeds from 10 different households that have never known death. And she went to house after house after house, but she had to reject their seed because they had known death, probably being pretty sorry for themselves when Grandpa died, feeling pretty sorry for themselves when their child died. And so she, after so much work and effort, could not get even one seed. But what she did get was the knowledge that babies die. She got the knowledge that shit happens. And here Ivan starts to feel bad for himself. And you haven't even had a baby die. Your shit's just little shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? All your shit's little shit, and you still feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah. They call it the main character syndrome. Like in the West, I think they say like.
Yeah, you're the main character of your life, right?
Yeah.
All right. But you're not enjoying that main character. That in fact, if you stop having a main character is the best, or if you start making other people your main character. This is why very wealthy people, a good example of this is Bill Gates in this century and this time. But before, there was Henry Ford, Rockefeller, and some of the other barons, robber barons, that after they amassed all their wealth, they were still unhappy. But what they started to do was give the money away. They started philanthropy. And so I mentioned Bill Gates because he started to giving away a lot of his wealth, and that's where his joy comes from. Why? Because he's not focused on what he can get anymore. He's focused on sharing with others. So a way to start is go to the hospital. Go visit people. Okay. I'll tell you a story about that. In fact, I did that. It was Christmas time, and Christmas is a great big deal in South Carolina. Okay, and so I had access to a Santa Claus costume.
Oh.
And I put that Santa Claus costume on with a great deal of help from others and went to the hospital and went to the children's ward and made a whole lot of kids happy. They weren't feeling sorry for themselves. If I'd have gone in there as a nun, oh, poor you, oh, you're such a poor kid, then they would have felt sorry for themselves because the nun felt sorry for themselves.
Yeah.
But here I am, a fat guy in a costume for Santa Claus, having a ball, giving each kid a gift, bringing joy.
Yes.
And you know what I did after I did that?
Yeah.
I went to another floor and did that with adults and got the same reaction. In that regard, laughter is the best medicine, because it didn't matter how many pills those patients got from their doctor, they weren't laughing.
I agree.
All right. So this is one of the ways, and we call that diversion. So instead of having unhappy, unwholesome thoughts about myself, oh, I feel sorry, you can go spread joy to those people who actually have some sorrow. They're actually sick. But there's a step beyond that. The second step is that there is nothing. There really is nothing. By the way, did you see the image, the drawing of the Japanese poem by Ruku?
No.
Okay, it's actually on the our Skype.
Yes. I know that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what did he say?
Both legs stretched out, something like that. Not caring the world.
Well, one of the things he said in there was, "Let the world take care of itself."
Yeah.
And that's a big one. Okay, to let the world take care of itself. Now, here's an example of that. Here we are on the internet, making videos, putting up a video channel, having Skype groups, having Discord groups, and having an Open Sangha Foundation website. Guess what? How would most people who had that feel? They would feel successful if they got more and more and more and more people.
Oh, yeah.
And if nobody joined the website, and if nobody came to the Discord, and nobody was on Skype,
Yes.
What happens? They feel sorry for themselves. So their joy comes from the world, not from the inside. But when you let the world go and recognize that you've got your own thing going, and the best thing to have is nothing at all. Then the next line of that poem says that I've got 10 days of rice and I've got enough sticks for the fireplace.
Yes.
Right? And then he says, I'm just going to listen to the rain on the roof.
Yes.
And then he says, and I'm going to sit and relax with my legs out. Now, that one I think is a slap in the face of the Zen posture, but it could be all of those cross-legged Asians.
Yes.
He's just going to sit happily with his legs out. And he's got 10 days full of rice and he's got nothing but the rain to listen to. Okay, he's got nothing now, literally. And that's where his joy comes from. That's a really, really powerful little poem. Sometimes the entire teaching of the Buddha can be summed up in a little poem like that.
Yeah. And like to go back to what you said about people feeling sorry for themselves if like no one's joining. It's so interesting because I usually think from my experience I've seen it again and again, people that just enjoy doing it and not caring for whether people come or go is usually where a lot of people stay. It's like I don't know, that's just how I've seen it again and again. Like it's really hard to imagine no people will come. I mean, maybe that's a mundane way of viewing things, but it's really hard to imagine. But
well, who knows what the future is going to be?
True.
The question is, can you stop feeling sorry for yourself right now?
Yeah.
Can you find enough joy to go spread it to others so that they don't have to feel sorry for themselves?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
ultimately,
go ahead.
Oh no, it's so interesting because when you're saying like, spreading generosity, helping people, it's like over here in my practice, sometimes I could have like some dissatisfaction. And then maybe, when I was helping people, right, and I see I can see really clearly they are the one who's creating their own dukkha, and maybe I was just helping them, just talking about it, not really like judging. It's like, and then as I'm spreading the maybe Dhamma or something, I'm also just spreading it to myself, like because I can see like, yeah, that person right now is me, like it's the same thing. And then I was able to instantly, when I was talking about the Dharma, I instantly remember like the refuge, the joy in this practice. I like in the process of helping them, I just feel good myself. Like not because whether they got help or not. I just remember like the effort of generosity itself. I was just remembering. So it's like I'm helping myself ultimately. I was just thinking about that.
Actually, you don't need help. When you say you're helping yourself, listen to this. Helping yourself is just the opposite of feeling sorry for yourself. And so you go, sorry, helping myself, sorry, helping myself, sorry, helping myself. The real way of looking at it is that you need not help yourself in that way. You need not feel sorry. You're already okay.
Yes. Mm. 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 Mm.
Okay, another word that they use, and I've heard this often from members of my own family years ago and in many other places. Oh, you deserve a reward. Oh, you deserve to treat yourself. Here, fat woman, have another ice cream.
Yes.
Go shopping. Buy stuff you don't need. Treat yourself.
Yeah, like why treat yourself? You're already successful, like satisfied, like everything is already here.
Mm-hmm. And so you're sick. So what?
Yeah.
In fact, getting sick is a good test. Bhikkhu Buddhadasa talks about it in the sense of when you're sick, that's a really good time to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's your options? When you're sick, you're either practicing or you're feeling sorry for yourself. What's your choice?
Yeah. Yeah. It also got me remember like I read a lot of this sort of cases where people who have serious illness either they there's only two options. Either they become like happier because during their illness they realize how dumb they are, like they're attached to so many unnecessary things, and then they just become happy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they just like, I hear this so often, like people say like, oh, cancer is the best thing that ever happened to me, which is like a crazy thing to say from a mundane view, I guess. But it's like they're really happy, like they discover the joy of just stop caring.
Yeah, I can hear the phone ringing. I pick it up and say, hey, boss, I can't come to work today. I was just diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
And then we say, ha, 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 I got out of that one. I don't have to come to work today because I'm sick.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. I'm not feeling bad and not feeling sad and not feeling sorry for myself because I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a perfect excuse to not fix the world.
Yeah. I was looking at the old video because I do it so much. I think it was the second or third call I talked to you. I was like looking at the old video. I was really sorry about it. I was saying like, it was something about like, because I got laid off from work or something like that, and I have so much free time, and I feel sorry for myself. And then you say how nice it is because I got nothing to do. Like I can be just so free. And like, well, I was just laughing because it's so true. It's just like, yeah, and then it helps me so much. Like nowadays, when I lost an opportunity or something, instead of feeling sorry, I was just immediately like, wow, like I can relax right now. I can stop caring. It's just so much joy. Yeah.
Well, look how much joy you've gotten now.
Yeah, it's true. It was like I feel like this year was so much relief, so much happiness. Sometimes it's scary to say to people because people might think I'm crazy, so I keep my mouth shut. Yeah.
When you're out in the world, why not keep your mouth shut? Because you're not going to be able to help them. And if you smile and laugh at them, they'll get angry and start to feel sorry for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a quick question again about because you say making every day like a Dhamma practice. I was wondering. I know the answer is no, but like, can it be too much? Like, I guess that's a mundane view, right? There's never too much of Dhamma practice, because I can't help but to think of like, some like religious nutcase people where they're talking about Jesus all the time. But I know Dhamma is not religious, so I'm curious.
Well, Jesus is not religious either. Listen to some of the things that he has said.
I agree.
Behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Another one is, behold, the kingdom of God is right in your hands. The kingdom of God is here. It's in your hands. He's also said things like those who are poor in spirit, which means that they're not prideful.
Yes.
Will inherit the earth. Why? Because all the prideful people are out there fighting with each other, killing each other off, leaving the meek and mild with everything.
Yeah. One of my favorite from him is like when he say, unless you become like the children of God, like you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking about it sometimes. Yeah, it's really beautiful quote. But yeah, since we're talking about Jesus, I have a quick question because this thing really is so interesting. Because I read something about because inside his disciple asked him about like why when every time you're in a crowd of people you speak in parables, and then he said something about like I don't know, like I guess he said people are not ready for the kingdom of God, the words and teaching, so he's speaking parables.
Yeah, they don't understand. Direct language is another way of saying it. Well, guess what? Did not the Buddha speak also in parables?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, every sutta, in fact, in the Majjhima Nikaya is a story behind it, and in that story he tells a parable.
I agree.
And one of the suttas, I think, is number 22, when he says, "Didn't I tell you the metaphor or the simile about this and that and this one and that one?" And I think in that sutta is lists about 100 of them. Simile of the snake, the simile of the raft, the simile of the honey ball, over and over and over and over again, one simile after the other, little stories. Now, let me ask you this question, and this one you might have to think about. Do I not also speak in parables?
Yeah, you do. That's what I like. I like listening to you.
Wasn't the story of the Santa Claus costume and in the hospital, wasn't that that a parable?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, now that you mentioned that. Yeah. Sometimes
okay,
I think that.
So that's how the Dhamma is taught. Jesus used it. Now, Socrates had a slightly different approach, and sometimes, and in fact, quite often, I use the Socratic method. And what was his method? Of making people think by guiding them with questions.
Yes.
That they would make a statement, he says, well, what about this? And they'll have to move. And then they'll say, well, what about this? And they'll have to move. And then they'll say, what about this? And they'll have to move. And pretty soon, he gets them to the point of understanding.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you seen that I ask a lot of questions? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, oftentimes it's like halfway through the question, or at least for me, it's like I realize, oh, okay, like, yeah, like, okay, I was wrong, like somewhere. It's like very immediately.
Okay, so let's cover another point. Jesus, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit in there. Jesus really screwed up. He did not follow his own teachings at all when he walks into the temple and he saw the money changers. He didn't like that a little bit. He started overthrowing the tables, and you can imagine they're counting their coins and putting it in stacks like that they were at a poker table.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. And he turned the tables over. Can you imagine somebody at a casino that's got a big stack of chips in front of them, and the table gets turned over and their chips get all over the place with other people picking them up? They don't like that.
Yeah, that's
good. He drove them out with a rope that he used as a whip. He was pretty pissed off, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how dare you screw with the house of the Lord? Well, guess what? The high priest wanted them in there because he was getting a piece of the action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So within a week, they strung him up. Well, all of those people who had listened to him before and didn't understand his stories, they began to make him, in other words, every time a story is told, his cross gets higher. And every time the story gets told, it gets higher and higher until he's floating off into the air. All right? And so they've made him into a special kind of son of God rather than recognizing that you too, and everybody here, is a son of God, a son of nature.
Yeah.
Without this environment, without all of God and all of God's laws, which includes gravity, it includes the nuclear force, it includes electromagnetic, it includes chemical reactions, all of that stuff is part of nature, part of God. And you're the son of that. So you're a special kind of son of God, just like everybody else. We're all children of God. But oh no, they wanted him to be special. They wanted his cross to go right up into the air. And that's what made Christianity. That's what made it into a religion.
Yeah.
A perfectly wonderful Dhamma teacher, Jesus, was destroyed, and a Messiah was put in his place. A magical Jesus.
Yeah. It also feel like the moment they make it special, that it is discard that. It's almost like once you make it magical, the real core of the I guess in Dharma is they call it the super mundane, right? Like that
Yes,
real
exactly.
stuff.
Here's something that a lot of people don't understand is that is magic and supernatural are actually mundane.
Yeah.
But where the supramundane is above all of that. Why is supramundane? Supramundane is above the mundane and it's going towards reality. Where supernatural is just mundane. And so it would be quite natural for ordinary people to treat Jesus as special. But if anybody had actually understood what Jesus was saying, then we would have a Bhikkhu Sangha of Christianity.
Yeah.
That Jesus was not around long enough, nor did he tell parables well enough to where his message actually got through.
Yeah.
But the Buddha was around teaching for 45 years. And he got a lot of people who understood his parables. And because of that, we've had a real Bhikkhu Sangha that's lasted 2,500 years, and the teaching of the Buddha is still alive.
Yeah.
To be transmitted to those who can hear. And so many of them want to worship their guru instead. They want to make their guru magical and special.
Yeah. It's kind of like an insult to the teaching once you make it magical, because people get attached to the magical, and like at least for me here in Malaysia, like surprisingly, like I was a Buddhist for the first 17 years of my life, but I never heard of the Four Noble Truth or the Eightfold Path, or like at least here a lot of people attach to the magical things.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Nobody gets any real magic, so everybody wants magic, and nobody gets it, leaves them in a state of wanting something they can't have, and they're dissatisfied with that.
Yeah.
But when you stop wanting things that you can't have, like for instance, you're sick and you want to be well, oh, poor me. I feel sorry for poor me, because you want to feel well. But if it's okay that you're sick, then you don't want something that you can't have. You're quite satisfied with what you do have. And that's the real thing that takes you above the ordinary into the supramundane. The ordinary mundane world wants things they can't have. And the supramundane is stop wanting things that you can't have and really enjoy the things that you do have.
Yeah, what is here, right here, right now? Just keep being more immersed.
So can you remember that you're okay? You've already got everything you need.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's definitely true. I just keep practicing. It's so funny. Sometimes I have questions, right? And then I go practice, and then suddenly the question just goes away. It happens so much lately. Like I have my questions, and then it was like I need to understand this. But then when I sit down, right, I just relax. It's like, wait, what's the question again? It's like it's just a thought. It's like so fast. It's so fast. I have there's a quick one. Like your Skype status, you say any mood will do now. I was curious. You often talk about, we have a choice in how we feel. Is that the same thing or is it different?
It depends upon how you translate the word mood. Now,
okay.
Many, many years ago, they had a kind of a stone or a chemical rock that would change colors upon temperature.
Oh, yeah.
And they would put it in a ring and sell them for a high price, and it was called a mood stone or a mood ring.
Yeah.
All right. And the people would look at the ring and say what kind of mood that you're in. And the reality is that it doesn't matter what color the ring is, you're okay. So that's where that real point about the mood came from, is any mood will do.
Because it's not important, right? I guess.
Because what mood you're in is not important. And in fact, most people get moody when they think that, oh, I have to feel sorry for myself, and that's just another mood.
Wow, I just realized like the word the word moody is not good. And people say they are moody. It's never it's never good. Why just mood, right? Why is it associated with bad feeling? Yeah.
And so it's a joke. Any mood will do is just a joke.
I see. Okay. Wow. Well, it's kind of deep, but at the same time, there's nothing there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. Any mood will do.
Yeah. It's kind of empty. Like everything.
I've only been asked about that 3 or 4 times, and it's been up on the Skype group for 10 years or so.
Okay. So I'm the fourth nosy one.
Yeah, any mood will do.
Yeah. I feel I have to investigate this, after this call.
All right.
So much good stuff.
Well, let's go ahead and finish now so that you can go do that with that great big smile you're wearing right now.
Yeah. How nice it is. Yeah.
All right, Ivan, we'll see you later.
Thank you, Dhammarato. See you. Have a good one.
Anyone will do.
Anyone will do.